Raider Nation, what's going on? This is the Raiders Report. My name's Mitchell Renz. Let's get into that news. John Gruden praising Virginia Tech linebacker Tremaine Edmunds. A guy that I've talked about a lot on this show is Georgia's linebacker Roquan Smith, but Gruden's praising Tremaine Edmunds, guy out of Virginia Tech, calling him a hell of a player. There's a 19-year-old football player in this draft. That's a hell of a player. We're not going to discriminate against him because he's 19. You're the best player, and if you fit what we're looking for, we'll take you. Humble brag here. Edmunds was my top choice for the Raiders in my latest mock draft at Chat Sports. Let's get into the second rumor. Karl Joseph helps out in Haiti. I think it's important in football or in real life. When people do extraordinary things, you deserve to be recognized. So, Karl Joseph, my hat's off to you. Oakland Raiders safety Karl Joseph took a trip this offseason to Haiti with Seattle Seahawks defensive end Cliff Averill to help out in the community. He's always been outspoken about his Haitian heritage, and in this offseason, he assisted in the building of a restroom for kids and hosted a football camp for them as well. To see the pictures from his experience, you should definitely go to his Instagram at K_Joseph42. Next bit of news I got for you guys coming up. Raiders preseason schedule. Sure, this was released last week, but I want you guys to know exactly the games that you should look for because the preseason does matter. Week 2, Oakland Raiders versus the Rams. The Rams made a lot of offseason moves this year, and I think it'd be a good test to see how we stack up against them, at least in the first half. And then Week 3 against the Green Bay Packers. The Week 3 is normally known as the dress rehearsal game, and this is when we can actually see this new-look Oakland Raiders team and how they're actually going to possibly play in 2018. Raider Nation, thank you so much for tuning in to the Raiders Report. My name is Mitchell Renz. Please follow me on Twitter at MitchellRenz365. I would definitely appreciate that. And while you're at it, like Oakland Raiders by Chat Sports on Facebook so you know exactly when I go live. We talk a lot of news and rumors on this show, so you need to understand my Raiders rumor scale. 0 Chucky heads, tuck rule, tuck that, not going to happen. 1 Chucky head, small shred of truth. I like to think 25% chance. 2 Chuckies, people are talking, coin flip 50-50. 3 Chuckies, pretty likely 75% chance. 4 Chuckies, believe it baby, 100% gonna happen. Let's get into those rumors. Will NaVorro Bowman return? Man, I really wish I wouldn't have to sit up here and talk about it because why can't we just bring back this guy? I love me some NaVorro Bowman, but unfortunately I'm gonna have to give this one 2 Chucky heads. People are talking. So the issue with this for me is just simply because NaVorro Bowman, I think, should have been our top free agent priority coming into this offseason because of how great he was last year. And I'm frustrated that this just hasn't happened yet. But the Raiders don't have much salary cap space remaining and have a draft class to pay. As I've said before in the Raiders Report, the Raiders wanted to lock Bowman up before free agency began March 14th, but the sides couldn't meet on a dollar amount. Then the Raiders started spending on others. The Raiders would like to get Bowman back, but the price has to match. Bowman might be waiting for an offseason injury to create higher demand for his services, though he hasn't said anything publicly since January. My fingers are crossed for Bowman. But I want to know what you guys have to say. Will NaVorro Bowman be a Raider in 2018? If you think it's a yes, a heart. If it's a no, like. Really hoping to see a lot of hearts in the comments, guys. Next rumor I got for you, Khalil Mack. Is he going to get paid? $120 million. I'll give him this one 3 Chucky heads, pretty likely. Can you even imagine, first off, like making $120 million? Blows my mind. But after the Broncos inked star pass rusher Von Miller to a monster 6-year, $114.5 million deal with $70 million guaranteed in 2016, this is what set the bar for the Raiders and Mack. The 2016 Defensive Player of the Year is not only primed to get a contract extension similar in size, but I think it's going to be bigger. A new deal would be in the ballpark of $120 million over 6 years. The deal could include $65 million in guaranteed money. That's just insane. Next rumor I got coming up from the board, will the Raiders cut Jared Cook? But you're going to have to wait, find out after our sponsor, Man Crates.
Man Crates, awesome gifts for men in real wooden crates, wrapped in a cocoon of duct tape, or housed in ammo cans that are virtually indestructible. Some gifts he'll get to assemble himself. Some gifts you'll beg him to share. And some gifts are sealed inside layers of rock-solid concrete. Gifts guys love, from grilling gear to old-school video games and more. Man Crates, awesome gifts for men.
Will they cut Jared Cook? I'm going to give this one Chucky head, small shred of truth. Cook's name has been brought up as a salary cap casualty this offseason. He's owed $5 million in non-guaranteed base salary, which means he can be cut without a cap hit. It's possible he gets cut to make room for other players, but I'd be surprised if it happened. The Raiders cut Clive Wolford instead, leaving Cook as the only receiving tight end option on the team. Gruden called Cook a great receiving tight end at the NFL owners meeting, and he isn't wrong. Cook led the Raiders with 688 receiving yards on 54 catches, and he still is an asset in the middle of the field, at least if you ask me. Let's get into that next rumor. Did Derek Carr baptize Cordarrelle Patterson? This one's freaking awesome. I'm giving this one 4 Chucky heads. Believe it, baby. Such an awesome story. Is there anything that this Derek Carr guy can't do though? For real? Former Raiders wide receiver Cordarrelle Patterson was a guest on Mad Dog Sports Radio and shared the story of how he got baptized at a team hotel on a road trip in 2017. Patterson said, "We was in a chapel one Sunday. I came up to him and was like, man, I need to get baptized. It's time for me to change my life around this moment. My life hasn't been going like I was planning it to be, but I want it to change." He talked to me, sat me down. He had another teammate come in with me, and he actually baptized me that same night in the hotel. It's the things off the field that people don't really see about Derek Carr. That's awesome. Love it. Next rumor coming up on the board, Gareon Conley. Is he still dealing with an injury? Believe it or not, yeah, he is. 4 Chucky heads. Really, really frustrating. But, so, I guess I could have said this. Raise your hand or throw in a comment if you would be surprised if Gareon Conley still be dealing with an injury. And, yeah, I'm sure a lot of you guys would be doing it. And according to NFL Network Steve Weish, Conley is recovering from shin surgery, and Oakland said he's not going to be fully cleared for workouts yet. He is lifting, but the Raiders are going to take their time with him to make sure he's going to be good once training camp starts. He first suffered this shin injury in last year's June minicamp. After confusion to the exact nature of the shin injury, Conley eventually returned to practice just prior to the start of the season, which appeared as if he might be ready for the opener. He wasn't, but he did finally make his debut in week against the Jets. The following week in Washington, Conley aggravated the injury and was lost for the season. That was September 24th. September 24th, that's over 6 months ago, and since then he's still not ready. Based on that fact, I'm still concerned. I don't know what to think about Conley, but he is a talented guy, and I really hope he can come back. Next one I got coming up from the board for you guys, though, for rumors, Dez Bryant. Is he going to be an Oakland Raider? This rumor is from your boy right here, Mitchell Renz, but I'm going to give this one only 1 Chucky head, small shred of truth. So, Dez Bryant was obviously released on Friday, and I'm sitting here in Dallas, and man, the hype is real, because when he got released, it was like the purge out there, I'm telling you. People were going nuts in the streets. But the Raiders have been rumored to be interested in a third wide receiver, so why not a veteran like Dez? We've seen the Raiders go out and sign veterans. I think it's, at least in that rumor category. But the Raiders were interested in Jordan Matthews, Eric Decker, so again, why not Dez? Bryant is 29 years old and coming off a season where he had 69 catches for 838 yards and 6 touchdowns. Bryant has been a dominant receiver in his 8-year career, but has perhaps lost a step. Bryant, for his career, has played in 113 games, hauling in 531 receptions for 7,459 yards and 73 touchdowns. But I want to know, should the Raiders sign Dez Bryant? If you guys think it's a yes, give me a heart. If it's a no, give me a like. I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about this one. Next rumor I got for you guys coming up, Oakland. Are they targeting linebacker Tremaine Edmunds? We talked about him earlier in the news section. I'm going to give this one, though, 2 Chucky heads. People are talking. And the reason why people are talking is because Todd McShay, ESPN draft analyst, and he had a mock draft recently which features the best possible options over the first 3 rounds for every NFL team. He believes the silver and black should go defense with their first 2 picks. According to McShay, the best option on the board for the Raiders at number 10 is Virginia Tech linebacker Tremaine Edmunds. He writes, if the Raiders are unable to land Smith in the first round, Edmunds would be a pretty excellent second option. Over his past 2 seasons with the Hokies, Edmunds has racked up 202 combined tackles for 30.5 for a loss and 10 sacks. Next rumor I got coming up on the board for you guys, Virginia Tech cornerback Greg Stroman. Is he the perfect fit for the Oakland Raiders? I'm giving this one again 2 Chucky heads. People are talking. According to Pro Football Focus, the best corner for the Raiders is Virginia Tech's Greg Stroman. The Raiders lost slot corner TJ Carey in free agency and need to find a long-term replacement capable of eventually reaching the 12 forced incompletions and 84.1 coverage grade he posted in 2017. Stroman lacks ideal size to play outside but has college experience in both the slot and at safety. He was one of the best in the country at playing the ball in the air last year as he posted 4 picks and 9 pass breakups. He gave up just 12 grabs on 47 throws in his coverage for the Hokies last year, and his 26.8 passing rating against was second best in college football among corners who had faced at least 30 targets. Last rumor I got coming up on the board, Marshawn Lynch. Does he love John Gruden? I know I do, but there's been a lot of controversy around this one. I'm going to give this one 3 Chucky heads, pretty likely. So, John Gruden was hired as the Oakland Raiders head coach this offseason. It seemed as though he was going to have a good chance, and him and Marshawn could, I don't know, potentially figure it out, but there's been some bumps in the road. It's been a bit of a roller coaster, we'll say. Marshawn Lynch's cousin appeared on 95.7 The Game, and this is what he had to say. He loves Gruden. Marshawn, that is. We talked about that earlier this week. He loves Gruden. He loves what Gruden has told him. He told me, man, I want to get you more involved in the offense. That was Marshawn getting into some of the best condition I've seen him in a long time. He came in, he gave me a hug the other day after shopping, and I was like, damn, cuz, what do you want, steroids? I'll tell you what, I really hope Marshawn is on steroids, but if there's one guy who I know could crush me like a grape, I guarantee it's Marshawn Lynch. Raider Nation, thank you so much for tuning in. Those are my news. Those are my rumors.